Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issues number 15 of Invincible Ironman, written by Jerry Duggan. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. So with that said, this issue opens up with Tony Stark walking with a package in his hand. Now, at this point in the story, he has already sent a draft of his autobiography to his editor in case he dies in his new Mark 72 armor, which is almost completed. So with that out of the way, he still had one more package to deliver. And this one made him feel kind of nervous, because he was used to making things for himself, but he wasn't used to making things for other people. Because the person he made this package for was his wife, Hazel, or better known as Emma Frost. And when he walked in the room, he was shocked to see Emma Frost back in her original appearance. So with the package delivered, Tony took the opportunity to walk his quote-unquote wife to a limo parked out front. And as Emma entered the vehicle, she grabbed hold of Tony's face and told him that they would discuss life after this if they survived. And with those words, she delivered a kiss upon his lips. So, as Emma drove off to battle, a scream caught Tony's attention from inside the mansion. So with no hesitation, Tony made his way inside only to see an assassin taking out the White King's guards with seemingly no difficulties. So with both guards down, the assassin turned to face our hero as three claws shot out his knuckles. So as the realization dawned upon Tony's mind, fear slowly began to creep in as the assassin went on the attack. Now on a side note, Tony didn't know this at this time, but evidently, the whole Krakoan Age of Resurrection meant that mutants were just leaving their corpses all over the place, including the numerous bodies of Wolverine, which he thought was extremely stupid, because he would have assumed that they would have had somebody retrieve the adamantium skeletons. But this just goes to show that Krakoa, like any other government, was imperfect. So anyway, as the Black King of the Hellfire Club, Tony had a few privileges that he could always count on. And one of them was always being within arm's reach of a candelabra. Because it was exactly what he needed to slow down the assassin. Because at this point in the story, Tony states that the Mark 72 hadn't been integrated with his neural interface. So he had to make his way to his armor by foot. So as the fire engulfed the assassin, Tony took off as the Sentinel emerged from the flames. And with little time to react, Fist tossed his Mysterium cane towards Tony just in time to block a set of incoming claws. So with the first attack dodged, the second one found its way home. So as Tony fell in pain, Emma in her diamond form arrived to help. So with help on the scene, Tony made his way to the basement and immediately started to put on his armor. Now, Tony knew that Emma could hold her own against a Sentinel Orchis constructed out of Wolverine's bones. In fact, Tony was completely aware that Emma would even go as far as to forfeit her life to cover for him. But that was something Tony didn't want to happen, because he knew Feilong would have installed a plan to kill mutants if need be, similarly to how Tony did himself. Because Feilong was able to take all of Tony's innovations, all of his plans, all of Tony's toys, all of his notebooks, he bought all Tony's secrets, and the ones he couldn't buy, he killed to acquired. So as the fight intensified, the Sentinel tries its best to put the inhibitor ring on her finger in order to eliminate Emma's power, and in a stroke of bad luck, it manages to do just that. So just as it was about to deliver its final blow, Tony came crashing through the floor in his new Mark 72 Mysterium suit. Now, Tony forgot that the only thing on Earth that could stop adamantium was vibranium. But see, Mysterium wasn't from their planet, so as the claws slammed into his armor, the impact alone caused them to bend and destroy the Sentinel's arm. So with little to no effort, Tony crushed the adamantium head of the enemy before leaving the club with Emma at his arm. So with the assassin dealt with, the two exited into the front yard as yet another Sentinel arrived, but this time it was a Stark Sentinel. And much like the assassin before it, it stood little to no chance, as both Emma and Tony released a blast that completely destroyed the Sentinel's head. So, with yet another robotic creature gone, both Tony and Emma split up, with Emma going to rejoin the X-Men, as Tony took off into space, where he made sure to be picked up by Feilong's satellites. Which was exactly what happened, because as soon as Feilong saw Tony flying overhead, he was completely pissed off, and as a byproduct he ordered all Sentinels to converge on Iron Man. So with his attention acquired, Tony touched down in Australia just in time to meet his shipment. Which was all a part of Tony's plan, because he fed Feilong the location of the fake mutant invasion point. So with the plan going perfectly, Feilong realized that those quote-unquote ships were not really ships, but instead something detrimental to Orchis's plan. So with no time to waste, Feilong dashed down the hallway to the most dangerous armor on Earth, his very own custom war machine Sentinel, and without a second thought, took off to the outback. So as Feilong rushes to the area, Tony lets us know that the ships that Ironheart built out in space with the dwarves, the same dwarves that forged Thor's hammer, landed right where it was supposed to. And as for Feilong himself, he sent all the Stark Sentinels to Australia, exactly as Tony planned. Because in a stroke of genius, Tony was able to use Feilong's pride against him. Because Tony didn't send Ironheart into space to build an attack fleet for the mutants. No, Tony sent her out there to build his armor. For the Mark 72 is the most advanced armor Tony ever undertook, with the fewest resources, with the primary function of being a flight suit, but for his most powerful creation ever, he left that up to Ironheart to assemble and create. And that was the Sentinel Buster. So as his new colossal suit stood in all its glory, every Sentinel on Earth arrived on the scene to meet their destruction. So with that said, issue number 15 of Invincible Ironman comes to an end. So with that out there, if you want to stay in the loop about any individual storyline, then how about you hop over to the playlist section down below or in the link cards above to get all caught up on the X-Men runs. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.